Because you do it.
You always do
No, you
it.
do it. Yeah, we're live.
Oh, shit.
What?
Hey, everybody, and we are live. Welcome to Grumpy Acres.
Didn't do that very good. It's Tuesday night. It's time for our live update of what went on around the homestead. Welcome, everybody. We got Starla was the first one in here.
Hey.
Then we got Spags. We got HG looking for spaces at the festival there, Spags.
Hey.
And not another Karen from Pennsylvania. And quit sticking your wet nose on me. I got a dog over here slobbing her nose all over me.
Not another Karen's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Huh. I may have just put two things together.
Oh.
I might be just a genius tonight.
Oh.
Is that who I'm meeting tomorrow? I bet that's who I'm meeting tomorrow.
Oh.
I bet it is.
But how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a good week. Finds you healthy and definitely warmer, at least around here.
Yeah.
It was 80 degrees warmer today than it was a week and a half ago.
Yeah. Everybody was talking about it in town. They couldn't believe it. Nobody was wearing a jacket. Kids were in shorts. It was crazy.
Yep. So it was nice. The only downside, title of the update this week, it was muddy. Muddy. It was terribly muddy. In fact, the road coming from the highway to our house actually was more dangerous with the mud than it was with the ice and snow the week before.
Yeah,
That's
it really pulls the truck.
Yeah.
Really pulls all the vehicles. You get stuck in that one little area. You can see it. It's dry in the middle of the road, so everybody wants to drive in the middle. But
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, craziness.
Well, you're in a country. We've had this discussion multiple times. In the chat, if you're driving down a rural country road, gravel road, do you drive in the lane or you drive down the middle until you meet somebody coming the other way? This is an ongoing debate between us. She doesn't understand.
Keep in mind on our roads where we have to drive to get to Blacktop, there's hills up and down, up and down.
So
you can't see what's coming at you from the other side.
Yeah, you just look out over the hill before you go.
There are two hills. I don't know why. It's kind of weird that you brought it up because I didn't know you were going to bring it up, but it's kind of weird that you did.
Why did you almost hit somebody driving in your lane?
Well, that was a couple days ago. But, yeah, no, I was really worried about that, and I counted. There's two hills that you cannot see what's coming on the other side. They're taller than the other hills, so, yeah.
But ACM.
Hi.
How you doing? Is that what hills do? They go up and down? That's what he's asking. I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not asking that. I'm just translating Spags into Angela.
Well, the hills just stay there, and we go up and down. That still doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't.
Stop it, Spags.
If it's dry enough, I just drive fast enough. You don't even have to drive fast around here in the summertime. Yeah. Seriously, it's
dusty.
It is dusty. It gets all over everything.
Right now, figure like if you're working out in the pasture and all of that, and you're building your house, you get that really thick layer of 3-4 inches of mud stuck to the bottom of your boot. That's what's happening to the tires.
Yeah, that's how much. And when it dries out this summer, it's just going to get dusty again. I
just enjoy some gravel.
That's another sore subject with me.
There's no gravel.
There's no gravel, and you don't want to put it down right now anyway.
They can't. They can't.
You can't.
Put it down.
But I'm gonna have to buy at least $1,000 worth of gravel
it'll be more than that.
Just to get the driveway semi-usable.
Mm-hmm. We're not the only ones though.
Oh, our driveway compared to some other people around here, oh my goodness.
Better.
Some driveways down here. Oh, here we go. See, Gregory knows.
Drive down the middle
until you get to a hill.
It drives me nuts. I just can't do it.
She loves following the rules.
Stay in your lane.
See, that's what got this country in the problem it's in, because people stayed in their lane. People need to think outside the box, think outside the lane, and do what you need to do to get there. Fly a drone overhead so you can see what's up the road. You know what?
While you're driving.
HG, you never know. That day may be coming. You know.
My.
There's Mr. Peoples, Mr.
Hey,
Chuck
hey.
Peoples, the one and only. How you doing, man? But yeah, so that's the big news around here is the mud. But the thing about it is though, with as much water as there was, the creek never did really run. It never did it.
It didn't run, but there's water standing.
It covered the bottom of the creek at one day last week, but it never did run. And have you looked at the pond?
Yeah, it's rising.
Is it rising?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of hard not to. I mean, it's got a very low bar to start with.
Well, it's right where, remember when we first had it dug? It's higher than that right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Not that kind of Karen. Not your tomorrow's Karen. We enjoyed hanging around at the campfire at KSL. My husband, or Bill, or one of the other.
KSL. No, that was at SRF.
Campfire.
Yeah. Campfire. SRF.
Yeah. He's SRF.
Yeah.
And we saw him at
KSL.
At KSL.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's not who we're going to meet tomorrow.
She just said it's not.
Well, yeah, because she said her husband. So no, this gal is
lots
not married.
of mud up here. As we say, bottom is falling out. Yep. YouTube Homestead. YouTube has your audience down. First ad I saw was a petition to contact Congress to ban evil assault weapons. Yeah, that algorithm, man, it's pretty. It's right on top of things. Yeah, that is so funny. Oh my gosh, because they think it's going to make a difference. They really do. Jan, how you doing? Spags loves assault weapons.
Yeah.
I wish I could own an assault weapon. I don't have the money to buy the stamp.
You know, if only I was still working real estate, we could afford all of that stuff.
You know, I do own an ADR, an American Defensive Rifle, but I don't own any assault weapons.
Everything is legal what we have.
Except for these. These should be registered. Nah, not anymore. Once upon a time, maybe.
I did most of the fighting, if I remember correctly.
Every gun is an assault weapon.
Stop it. Say it's not so.
Glorious mud for sure. Mess. Oh, and get her.
You should see my truck.
Ask her about her floor, and ask her what happened. What happened this weekend that exacerbated it?
The grandbabies came.
That's right. We got to spend the weekend with two of the grandbabies.
And they had to feed the sheep. They had to feed the goats. They had to feed the chickens. Like every hour. I think we finally got them under control where it was 2 times a day.
Yeah.
And then, but I was lucky. I thought ahead, and I messaged my daughter-in-law, and I was like, you might bring some extra clothes and mud boots and that kind of thing. And she goes, great, we'll do. And then it was funny, once they turned in the road we told them to come on, they got in here, and she says, we can't see out the back window. There's so much mud. And I said, now you get why I told you to do that. I wasn't being bossy. I was just telling you to do that. She said, thank you. So, but yeah, and they did. Every time they went outside, somebody fell. Somebody was jumping into a mud puddle. It was sweet. It was just so cute.
Yeah. Oh, and then they're getting ready to leave, and our granddaughter is
jumping,
running across the driveway, jumping in puddles of water, of standing water, and her dad, he did very well.
He did.
He did very well. I would have lost it. I would have jumped all over her case.
Well, you have to remember, so their dog is named Piggy, and so you have to remember Piggy already went through the mud and then thought they were leaving, so she jumped into the driver's side seat and got mud all over the vehicle anyway. So all he asked before he left was, will the mud ruin the washing machine?
Yeah.
No. Throw it in the washer.
Zach's in here.
Hey.
Zach and I are going to have a little conversation.
Oh, did you get that set up?
Looks like on the 10th.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt kind of I was looking through my email and I was like, I know that Zach contacted me, but I can't find the email.
And then I reminded you.
No. I could not find the email, and so I emailed him. I said I'm losing my mind. I couldn't find the email. And he's like, yeah, it's because I said something on one of your videos and I didn't send you an email.
Where did I see it?
On one of the comments.
Oh, I could have sworn it was on an email. I'm sorry, I told him it was in an email.
I spent 20 minutes. No, I saw it and I thought it was an email too. But I spent 20 minutes this morning looking for it, and I was like, I'm losing my mind.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, we're doing a conversation on Saturday the 10th, 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is
8 here.
Are they 2 Pacific?
8 p.m. for us.
8 p.m. 8 p.m. in the only time zone that matters. So we'll make sure that we remind everybody next week before that happens. But I'm looking forward to that. Zach's I'm really kind of proud of him, to be honest.
He's a trooper. Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that during the show.
And he even, if you go to Unique Prepping and join his channel and look and see what he's doing. This is a guy that has overcome a lot of challenges, and he's stacking and prepping. So
Eagle Lover, you say your weapons put hold. You know what? Mine are defective. I think
Not to mention all of those that we lost in that boating accident.
We don't do that. But every single gun I own is defective because, especially my ARs, because none of my ARs has ever killed anybody or unalived somebody. None of my ARs has ever unalived somebody, and I'm told constantly that that's the only thing they do. In fact, I'm told that they will jump up on their own and unalive people, and that's why they're dangerous and they need to be got rid of.
Unalive people?
We're not supposed to take. We're not supposed to use the K word on the YouTubes.
Is that a thing now?
Yeah, apparently it scares. Can't say that or the S word. Self-unalive or unalive.
So that's super interesting because that's exactly what's going on in Australia.
Yeah, I know.
Interesting. You have to say pew pew. You can't say the G word.
The G word. You can't even say the G word. I don't. You're too observant. That's what Spag says. I have a Red Ryder assault weapon. I painted it assault rifle. I want to do an AR. So I'm going to do this for my granddaughter. I'm going to buy or build her an AR pistol and paint it muddy girl camo, which is the pink camouflage. Keep it up here so that she's got a little tiny AR when she's old enough. She's too young right now. She can't even really actually hold the thing. But when she gets to the age, she's gonna have a muddy girl pink AR, so she can come.
You better get those parts, the other parts.
I've got most of them. It's not assault black; it's assault weapons of color. See, yes, absolutely. Oh, Rabbit knows a guy. They've got ARs down there, Arkansas rifles. No, mine is an American an ADR.
Yeah.
An American defensive rifle.
Speaking of Arkansas.
Okay, hold on. Before you go there.
All right.
Let's discuss what she just said. Let's talk about what she said about the boating accident. And don't tell people that. Don't use that. Don't. If you are a gun owner, own it, and say I own them. I'm not afraid to say I own them. I'm not gonna back down. I'm not gonna hide it from the government. I just don't do that.
We can't hide it from the government because somebody got in trouble with the ATF.
I didn't get in trouble. I had a very nice conversation with a lovely young lady who was polite and courteous and just wanted to explain the rules to me in case I didn't know them.
She was nice about it. It could have got a lot worse.
Yeah.
Thank God we were in was Trump in office? He was in office.
Yeah, Trump was still in office.
Thank God.
Yeah. But yeah, see, Spags knows. Don't hide them. Don't hide them. If you're telling people that you lost them in a boating accident, all you're doing in my mind is telling people that you're afraid to stand up for your rights.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know. Now you don't have to tell them how many you got. You don't have to tell them where they are. You know, but don't go hiding that you've got them. You know. I'm just saying. We've run away. We've run away for too long. That's what they want you to be, one of two things. They want you to be confused or scared, preferably both. And so our job is to be neither.
You're going deep fast.
Well, you know it's. I know you were joking. I know that you don't think like that. But there are a lot of people out there that do think like that, and we need to. If it goes to changing the mindset, we need to change our mindset because unless our mindsets change, we can't change anybody else.
Right, Spags.
Let's say. Besides, I'm sure that the boating story now puts you on yet another list because
they've heard it before. Everybody said it. That was like the big thing.
They're gonna
4
ask
years
you.
ago. They're
gonna ask you where you get your boat. Bass Pro Shopper Cabela's. You're on a list. Boom.
Oh yeah, that too.
You know.
Yep.
Chuck wants to know why we need 5 of them.
Because you need a backup to a backup to a backup. 2 is 1, 1 is none.
No. Why do I need 5? None of your fucking business.
Oh, that too.
That's exactly why. Now I can tell you why I need a full capacity magazine that holds 30 rounds, because if it's for deer hunting, I need 1 to shoot the deer and then 29 to keep the people that aren't shooting deers from stealing my deer. If I was using it for hunting.
Or to keep the coyotes off of it and the cats off
of
it.
Oh, he wasn't asking. He was saying. Oh, that was like, why? You need 5.
Right.
Okay, I apologize to you.
Actually, you need more than 5.
I thought you were being flippant and smart.
Yeah, no, you need more than 5. You'd be like somebody else and buy a pallet of 52 lowers.
There you go. I have an SOE sticker that says Offshore Gun Club. I didn't lose.
Nice.
There you go.
I didn't see that one. Of course, I wasn't looking either. So.
Let's see. What story came from Facebook that was a lie? I missed that one.
Probably a ton of them.
Oh, why do you need 5? Because you haven't bought the 6th one yet.
Right. Hey.
Gregory says he's buffering.
Oh, that stinks.
Wes is there.
Wes, we're so sorry to hear about your mom. And I apologize. If you texted me, I totally missed it. Apparently you texted G. He figured you texted me. I didn't see it, so I did not find out until yesterday. So I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's hard.
Oh, let's see. Terminator says, I had 2 officers on my property the other day. I have 2 big no trespassing signs. I told them to get the F off my property. And I told them I didn't like them and trust them, and they left. Did they ever say what they were doing on there?
Yeah, I'd like to know what they thought they were doing.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Joseph G popped in, and many more mags than 1.
Yes.
More like 50. Make sure they are loaded.
Yep.
Stay away from those cheap polymer mags that bow out whenever you load them all the way. That some of those polymer mags, I don't like them. I got lucky. I got extremely lucky. I had a guy when I was working for the.
Thank you again for grabbing what?
Oh, but I had a guy that was he was a sniper, and he was in one of the infantry companies there when I worked for the DoD, and he was an avid shooter. He did 3-gun competitions, and he ended up with about 200 aluminum GI mags that were all in good condition. So he was like, dude, these things are going to get tossed out. Do you want them? So he just gave me a whole big thing of 30 and 20 round magazines, which is really nice because I love those GI mags. Those are just body positive mags. Okay. Okay, what do you say? The sheriff calls before he shows up here. He knows it's a prudent thing to do.
So that's why we keep our gates locked, because that way they have to either send you a letter or they have to call you and let you know that they need to set an appointment.
Well, and that's that. Rabbit, you said it's prudent. It's just the polite thing to do.
Right.
It's the polite thing to do. I mean, and unless they think you're a criminal and they're going to raid you, yeah, there's no reason for them to show up unannounced.
Right.
Of
course, also remember she's up in Canada, so it's a different story. They get to do whatever they want.
They were looking for somebody I didn't know I'd ever heard of. So they came to the wrong place.
And they didn't know it?
Well,
They're officials.
I
and they
believe
didn't
it.
know it.
I believe it.
Oh.
Lizzo mags. Big fat mags. Let's see here. My old dog is almost totally deaf now. I was looking for a good new puppy, Shepherd Lab Roddy Crop. Man, that'll be a handful. The Shepherd by itself is a handful. The Lab by itself is a handful.
That's a lot of energy.
And the Roddy is a handful. I'd probably kill this.
You would not.
No, I would.
You would not.
It'd drive me nuts. So with these two knuckleheads we got now, I learned I do not like puppies. They're cute. Puppies are cute. Don't get me wrong. Man, just
Yeah, but you're a cat person, and that's weird.
no, I'm not a cat person. I'm just an animal person. But man, puppies to me, just it's like oil and vinegar now. They're just too many. It's the pooping in the house and the getting potty trained.
It's a stage. You had to do it with your children. What's the difference?
Yeah, I don't like my children very much then either.
Oh, stop it.
My gosh, they were like little poop factories. Our kids, not the dog. Well, the dogs too. But so,
gosh.
what else is going on right here?
So
Tell me your business adventure this week.
Yeah, so we got an email on Friday.
No, not that one. The local one.
We have product in 1886 Cafe. And so that actually has been going pretty good. I got that in there, Thursday, I think. Yeah. So I got everything in Thursday. They've already sold out of some stuff, so I'll be taking that stuff down tomorrow. And then looks like it's going to work out pretty well. So yeah, just getting that stuff in there. And then it's been really weird. A lot of different things. People coming to me for stuff and asking for things. So good thing. It's a good thing, and it's good timing too.
And then the other business opportunity she was going to talk about was we had a nursery reach out to us.
Not just any nursery.
Well, a nursery that does plant guilds.
Food forest
guilds. Reached out to us and wanted to supply us with some trees, and then we would discuss.
And they're bare root.
Yeah, they're bare root, and we looked into it, and their insurance policy. Warranty.
So they have a warranty of 365 days, so you really can't lose there. And then as long as you go within their guidelines, so it has to be planted within 3 days. You have to make sure that you keep them moist and watered and that kind of thing. So as long as you do that, then they're warranted for 365 days.
We are,
and they come with a guide that will actually tell you how to tell if they're dead or alive, how to tell, what stage they're in, that kind of thing, which I thought was super cool.
Now, don't tell them
I don't
prices.
even do that.
Don't tell them prices.
No, we'll go with that. And we're hoping he's close enough. They're close enough that we're hoping that we could possibly take a little trip down to Arkansas and interview him, see what he's got going on, how he does it, that kind of thing. But we'll test the product first and kind of see where that
So goes. Right now we're in the first stages of it. But hopefully come springtime we'll have a good supplier. The prices were reasonable.
Yeah.
I think they were.
Yeah.
I mean they weren't state tree conservation.
Yeah, but they're also not state conservation trees either.
Right.
Or berries or you just trees, berries, that kind of thing. So you're
gonna pay more at a store than through this.
Correct.
So hopefully we'll have something really positive
Mhm.
for you guys and really good for you guys come this spring. We'll see how it goes.
And I'm interested to see him because when I do cuttings, they are not 4 feet tall. And so, because we always try to get as much cuttings out of there as possible, and his are 4 feet tall.
Right.
So between 2 and 4 feet, I think is what it said. But so I'm very interested to get them and kind of see how it goes and what it looks like. Because if you get one that big, you don't have the weighting like you do when I sell mine. So
Well, and if you're new here, I'm really big on bare root trees. In fact, I am a huge advocate of contacting your state conservation department because every single state's got an arbory and they will sell bare root stock. I know Missouri does it. I know Kansas does it. In fact, Missouri will ship over on the Kansas side because Missouri's got native trees that Kansas doesn't have for some reason. But you can get it. And I tell the story. So the first 3 years we were on our last property, I planted over 600 trees. I spent less than $120, and I got 600 trees. And I sat down and I did the math on it. And even if I had a 90% failure rate, and only 10% of those trees, which would have been 60 trees, survived,
it was worth it.
I still made out way better than trying to buy 60 trees at the nursery or Home Depot or something like that. I still made out way better.
And now the new owners of that property are enjoying the Food Forest Guild. So
Right. And I went through.
I hope they are anyway.
I went through and did a rough survey, and the year that we left, I counted at least 40% of the trees that survived. Because I tagged them all.
Even the Kentucky coffee tree.
Yeah.
That one. We need more of those.
I planted that in such a bad place though. I planted it right next to the driveway, right next to the road.
Well, it's small enough Caleb can move it, and he may have already because they put a gate up. Hopefully they didn't take it out. So hopefully they just transplanted it.
Skins Girl showed up. How you doing, Skins? Hope you're doing okay. Midwest Preparedness Project is I'm going to think that's shaping up very nicely.
Lots of surprises.
Lots of surprises.
I have been on the phone with Nancy with Buffalo Seed Company, and because I got some Starla sent over some gift certificates for Christmas and that kind of thing, and so I fulfilled those, got that done. Starla did get that straightened out. She took care of that for Tag and D, and I've asked her if she'll come out and talk, see what they can do, bring some seeds in, that kind of thing. And so she's going to talk to Matthew, look at the calendar and see what they've got going on. So hopefully they're available for that. It's still early enough that I can get with some other seed companies, but I really like to highlight local and for our area. So I really want them. Yeah. Baker Creek would be fun, but...
Well, Buffalo Seed Company, if you don't know who they are, number one, they're the friend of the channel, and they are friends and sponsors of Midwest Preparedness Festival. And what they've done is they've partnered with local gardeners and farmers to get regionally suitable seeds. So the seeds,
heirloom seeds,
heirloom seeds
that are specific for drought hardy.
Right, and so that's what they spent the last 2 years doing is
I think more than that.
Having people, well, since we've been involved, having people grow these plants and then getting these seeds. So these are heirloom seeds. They're drought resistant for this area, and the harvest on them is amazing.
Bountiful,
especially in the drought conditions that we're in.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and in fact, they want you to treat them like you're in a drought, even if you're not. So no watering, that kind of thing. Everything has to be minimal. So
Skates fell asleep. We're so important. She fell asleep.
Oh no! Wake up!
Hurts.
Wake up!
That hurts.
And so yeah, a lot of fun. And then not only do they bring the seeds in, and they start them for you, so you get the plants on some of them. They start them for you. I know tomatoes they do, and they bring them out, and then you plant everything and keep everything going. They come out, they check on them, do all of that. The big ones or the ones that look really good, they'll actually buy back from you. So part of that contract is that they get so many, but if they're bountiful and they do great, they'll even buy back from you.
Starla
So it's
says
great.
that Starla says she's got some seeds that she needs her address again.
Again, I'll send it to you.
Yeah. And
I'll probably just have them send it to the house.
Terminator said, I just have to go in my bush and dig up young trees. I can even get seeds from different varieties of pine, cedar, maple, white, yellow birch, oak, cherry.
Yeah, we could do that too. But these are what did I get? I got gooseberries. I got a peach tree. I know. I knew. I got the gooseberries. I did not get grapes. I thought about it,
Well,
but we have grapes, so we just got to figure out how to get those back. So we got the river bottom.
Well, we get them back by getting rid of the goats.
And that may have to happen because I'd rather have my grapes.
Yeah.
And so anyway, yeah, I got quite and I got kiwi trees, a male and a female. And then there's something else they put on there. So there's something else I got. But yeah, so it's exciting to get those. We'll see what happens.
So Spags and Starla. Starla needs booby trap ideas. Okay, two things on that. Well, number one, be careful what you call it, especially in a forum like this. Be careful what you call it, because booby trap will get you in trouble legally if something happens. And remember, even if things fall apart and
I think that's what I got, Rabbit.
And it's chaos, you are going to be responsible for what happens afterwards, no matter what, because there will become a time when the rule of law comes back. May not be the type you like, but it's going to come back. So you got to be careful. Now, with that said, I am not promoting Alibaba or Temu or anything like that. And you can find domestic suppliers of these things. They make these little alarm systems that you strap onto trees and nail onto trees that use 22 blanks or 12 gauge shells. You get them in different calibers, and you set these things up, and they've got a spring and a little pin on them. Put the string across there, trip the spring, it goes off, and it makes a big sound. And great for alarm systems. Hacks had some and was showing me up close and personal. So if you're looking at that, but like I said, you can find these domestically. But if you just want something inexpensive that's throwaway that'll work once, the cheap Chinese stuff, they've got them, and you get them for like $5 for 10 of them. You know, so it's just a thought. It's just a thought. But everybody needs to be careful whenever they start talking about things like this, because the booby trap will get you in trouble. That's a very, very dangerous place to go.
Spags, text me and let me know if you're going to be up after the live, and I'll give you a call.
Actually, Starla, if you get on Amazon, I'm almost positive they've got them on Amazon. I don't know. I'll look around. I'll see if I can't find them. Maybe put a community post up. So Clinton Lake, Kansas, near Lawrence and Topeka, just south of Lawrence, Kansas, is where we're going to have it. Do you have the name of the spot? Which campground it's going to be at, Spags? There's several places.
And you guys can also get on Midwest Preparedness Project on Facebook, and then MidwestPreparednessProject.com. And aren't they? I can't remember if they're over on Rumble or not. But jump on there.
Bloomington campground.
Yeah, so jump on there and have all the information and that kind of thing. Then you can just map it out.
Ooh, and somebody has been experimenting with a new thing for breakfast at the festivals that we do food at. Muy bueno. Muy bueno. You guys.
Are you talking about
let's just
what
say
I
you
did
can,
this weekend?
Let's say you can put chili on it if you want.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I may have just conquered Cinnabon's recipe to the T. So, very, very exciting. And I had that one today. So it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 days old.
Mhm.
It literally tasted like
Yeah.
the day I made it.
Well, you know how
I was like, oh.
you know how you some cinnamon rolls when they sit for a day,
They dry out.
They dry out and aren't as tasty. These things were just as moist. She wrapped them in saran wrap after the first day, and they were just as moist 3, 4, 5 days afterwards as they were brand new. It was amazing.
You took some to work, almost sold out, so that was good. And it was funny because a lot of people, their comments at work were I wasn't charging enough, so I needed to raise my prices on them. But honestly, I had made a mistake. Thought I had made a mistake with those, so I was just like, go sell these. Garen figured $1 a piece, and I said, yeah, that'll cover ingredients, no problem. And apparently, I didn't charge enough. So happy accidents.
Yeah, Gregory, we're kind of going to do the same thing. We need to get something going. We haven't had a good garden since we moved here.
Yeah, and luckily our neighbor got a tiller to pull behind the tractor. He has actually
it's for his skid loader.
Yeah, for the skid loader.
He's got a tiller for the skid loader.
So he said he can come and get our ground, get that Johnson grass out, all of that, get that ground ready, and he thinks he could have it done in half an hour.
Yeah.
So we're going large scale this year, which is also one of the reasons why we will not be doing a bunch of festivals this year.
There's the link.
Is that Discord? Specs?
No,
that's the map.
That's the map to where.
Yeah. And Specs said they just went live on Discord. I still have to learn Discord. You got to teach me that. I'm missing a lot because everybody is switching over to Discord.
Well, I'm not gonna hound you. I'm not gonna stop you and say.
I don't know what hounding and all of that. I don't know why you have to turn it into a negative thing.
It's not a negative thing.
You've been busy and I've been busy.
You just have to.
You're starting an argument. You need to stop.
Rabbit says Cherokee purple heirloom tomatoes. Just a suggestion for everybody.
Yeah, they're nice. Those are nice tomatoes. I like those. Rabbit, here's what I got: the Arctic Beauty kiwi, the Red Beauty Arctic kiwi, Amish gooseberry, Alberta peach, and Santa Rosa plum. So that's what I got coming.
So Terminator's been hooked. Terminator's trying to build communities. What she's trying to do.
Yay!
She's trying to do it. Good
Perfect.
For you. Good for you. This is what.
Get those potlucks together.
This
They're
is
important.
what we're talking about.
Yep. Hey,
Mrs. Ghetto, wielding the big blue winch. And that's what Tag and I were talking about that on our live last week or a couple weeks ago. That's the coolest thing that could happen, in my opinion, is for people that we talk to online or meet in person that go out and start their own communities. I want to hear a year from now. I want people getting on our lives or seeing us at festivals, going, "Hey, this is what we're doing in our community. These are the people that we've got."
Starla's trying to kill me.
What you do now?
I got 500 Cherokee purples coming.
Oh my gosh, we are going.
I can do that.
And we're going to share them.
Yeah.
We're going to share them.
So each one of these plants that she sends me yields 20 pounds of tomatoes per plant. So 500 plants, that's a lot of tomatoes.
Yeah. So
I guess I am going to have to set my fall aside because I'm going to have to can like nobody's business. Yeah. Luckily, Tracy said, had I known that you needed help this year, I would have got all those tomatoes off. And I was like, well, I didn't know. So
no, we didn't know. We didn't know it was going to have an early freeze.
Right. And so Tracy has no problem coming over and helping me harvest everything and get all that done. I'm pretty sure she would probably even help me plant. And then there's other people that will too. So maybe we do some kind of have him do a big enough plot that we could just do a community garden because Gypsy and them aren't going to be able to do a garden yet. Yeah.
See, I corrupted at least one person.
Wanting to try the chili over the cinnamon rolls. And so a lot of people did. And then we're hearing like this is really a normal thing. And so it wasn't bad. But I figured out I didn't get, when you had me taste it, you didn't put enough chili on the cinnamon roll. You're supposed to smother it in chili. So it balances the sugar out better.
Well, it's it's a take on Skyline chili. We figured that out from talking with people in the chat. I think it was Joseph G maybe said something.
Yeah,
about
and I
Skyline.
had never heard about Skyline chili.
But yeah, it's a take on it with just a cinnamon roll, and it just adds a little bit of sugar. And we were talking about.
Well, it adds the cinnamon too.
We were talking about what would make it better, and we figured that the chili needs to be really spicy to balance out the sugar and the cinnamon.
I don't think that's true. You and Ian figured that out because you and Ian like a lot of spice. I had the grandbabies here and they could not have that. So, and I would not eat that. And even still, I kept it calm. And even still, Lizzie Q, she told me, she said, "Oh my, this is spicy. I need some milk." So, but.
Nah, but it was surprising. Virginia Roots is making fun of the look I had on my face when I tasted it because I was shocked. I was not expecting it to be, and it's not something I'm going to do on a regular basis. And as far as it being a thing, most people said that school lunches in the 60s and 70s, chili.
She didn't say 60s or 70s.
No, people.
She said 101.
People a bunch of people in the chat or the comments said 60s and 70s, chili with cinnamon rolls for school lunch, and I don't remember.
The comment I saw was school lunch 101. They always served a cinnamon roll with chili.
Yeah, as a side.
In Western Kansas. Yeah.
But hey, you know what? We can learn things all the time and keep an open mind. You know, it's not for everybody, and I wouldn't do it very often, but it was good one time.
Who was it that commented? I can't remember, but they started talking about no, cornbread or rice, and then I started craving the rice, but I stayed away from it and I didn't cook it. But I remember that in San Diego, putting chili over rice. It was like a big deal with the Mexicans down there. So I think it just filled you up better. But and then you put cheese and sour cream and all that stuff on.
Well, and we got two people, Sterling West, talking about cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, did anybody's parent? My mom used to make Johnny cakes, which is cornbread with sugar in it. Mm-hmm. And so we'd have either regular cornbread with cream corn in it, which is the way you make it. Mm-hmm. And then my mom would also make Johnny cakes.
I make my cornbread different though. I put cream corn in my cornbread.
What's it on?
And in fact, I made cornbread this weekend because I knew I wouldn't do the cinnamon roll, and I knew that Amanda would not do the cinnamon roll, and so I made cornbread, but I didn't have any canned cream corn. I didn't have time to make any, so I just made the regular cornbread and Amanda macked on it, but I just didn't care for it. I like it better when it's moist like I make it.
See, same here, Stains. Jalapeno cornbread. Oh, I'll tell you what. There used to be a restaurant down in the River Key area, which is North Kansas City, up by the river. And they used to make Reuben sandwiches with cornbread, jalapeno cornbread hush puppies that were about this big around, that were so delicious. Oh my gosh, they were so good. Cinnamon rolls and chili for school lunch in South Dakota in the 70s. See, I don't remember cinnamon rolls and chili. That's the thing. Of course, I don't remember a lot of. I took my lunch a lot when I was a kid. I didn't eat a lot of school lunches.
So that's probably why you didn't get it.
Yeah. And then by the time I was in junior high,
you were in military
school, and we ate everything family style at Wentworth. So that was good. Let's see here. What did we miss? I got 10 grain cereal from Azure to make cornbread using that. See, and we need to start getting corn and grinding it and making our own.
So I just figured out where Azure is, where they're dropping off. So at the old grocery store. So I just figured out where they're dropping. So now I can do that. However, the problem that I have with Azure is every time I go in there to order something, they're sold out. So, with that being a thing, I just get frustrated when I can't get my stuff. So maybe I'll have to make a trip to Nebraska or something like that, and then I could just get it from the Amish store or whatever. But because I can hit Nebraska in 45 minutes, and there's a little Dutch pantry there that I can pick some stuff up. He's a little more expensive, but it would be worth it.
Tim, our job here is done. We want everybody walking away from our lives wanting to expand and do something.
Yeah.
So even if it's making chili,
Yeah.
we win.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And don't use those packets for your chili, people. Really get into it. Use the chili powder, the garlic powder, the cumin. Get it all in there. Just really enjoy and taste and do what you want. I was gonna do a video on it, but it was like so many people have different recipes for chili. Oh, your son. So.
Oh, he must have done something wrong. When he's my son, it's when he's acting like a fool or done something wrong. Then he's my son.
So
Okay.
he was gonna come in. Remember, he was gonna critique me.
Oh yeah.
And we were gonna have a chili cook-off and all this other garbage. And I kind of got onto him, and he started eating the chili, and then he was going back for seconds, and then he was going back for thirds. And he's like, Mom, this is really good chili. And I said, yeah, it's the chili I've always made for you. And he goes, huh. And then he's like, it's good. And I said, well, thank you for not critiquing me. And he did not ask for a chili cook-off. So I think that's funny.
Did she chocolate gravy with real vanilla over homemade biscuits and real butter for breakfast? Okay, I had not heard of chocolate gravy before until about a couple years ago.
Is that the mole or?
Kind of. It's just a chocolate sauce. It's just kind of like
chocolate.
Well, it's a gravy. It's not a sauce. It's not like chocolate sauce. It's more like a cream of wheat type of consistency almost. I mean, but really good. I really like that.
Mrs. Ghetto. So here's the thing. So if you make your chili too spicy, you can fix it with lemon juice, and then that's how you get that heat out of there. So just add another can of tomato sauce or whatever jar, and then lemon juice, and that will kill some of that heat.
There
and you just do that until you can stand to taste it.
Hot chocolate pie filling, basically.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So this one. So we at work we call it the basement dwellers luncheons, and so every month we try to have a luncheon just for the people that work down in the bottom floor of the building I work in. So we did chili one time. In fact, it was one of the first ones we had when I started working, and they were having a little taste off, and they were gonna have a gift card for the winner. So I had her make her chili, but I also had her make a hot chili because I love her hot chili. She makes a chili that'll make the back of your legs sweat and just your nose starts when it's awesome.
Yeah, and Spags in crushed red pepper. I'll take care of it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But,
so what'd you say about my chili? So what happened? You had me make it
remember,
really spicy.
you went,
and they said what?
Well, nobody would touch it. Me and Nick were the only ones that would touch it after the first bowl because everybody took one bite out of the hot stuff and were like, "Ooh, we can't do this." And I'm shoveling my pile like it's going out of style because it's so good. Can we talk about something besides food? I'm getting here and I don't want to get up. Oh. So what else has been going on around here?
Yeah, basically just cleaning up mud and trying to keep the mud under control. The wood burning stove is working fabulous. It's more efficient than ever. And then
and now we don't need it.
Yeah, we need it.
Well, like we did.
It was 60 degrees today, and then tonight's low I think is like 20. Is it 28? It might be 30. I don't think it's higher than 35.
It's warm enough that we're not losing chickens.
Right. Yeah.
We haven't lost chickens for 4 days now.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. If I believed in that.
Starlet's already getting up and getting ham. But and interesting videos coming. If he compiles them, he got some good cooking videos coming. Cinnamon roll being one of them.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about you and making videos. So if I make video, we've got 2 iPads. If I make it or on my phone or on the iPad, I can transfer it off no problem. Her phone, I lost 2 of the short ones off your phone got corrupted when they were moving.
Well, there should still be on my phone.
No, they
So
got
just move
corrupted.
it again.
They got corrupted on like when they were transferring off your phone.
You purposely sabotage
No, I
my
don't.
videos. Yes, you do.
Trust me, I do
You've
not.
done it for years.
I do not do it. It's I don't know what it is about that phone. Of course, she's got an iPhone. I've got a Samsung, so that's one of the reasons. But the whole iPad thing, they're the exact same iPad, same load, and whenever she does it, it behaves differently when I'm trying to transfer stuff off. So I don't know what the deal is. Is your wood stove old school or one of the high efficiency with a catalytic burner? Does it have a catalytic burner on it? I don't think it does.
I don't think it has catalytic burner on it, but it is supposed to be efficient. So I don't know. I don't know what. Honestly, I don't know what that is.
It's a reburner. It reburns the. I don't think it does. I don't think I'd have to go look.
No, because when the hacks were looking at it, we need to add a reclaiming box. Yeah. Is that what
no,
it's called?
it doesn't. It doesn't because the one with the converter on it was another $300. I know that.
Oh, you didn't get that one.
Yeah, we did not get the more expensive one.
Yeah, we'll just get a reclaimer and then put that on the flue.
Let's see here. Let's start planning my garden for this year and getting my to-do list for this year. I put an order in Cornish Cross, and we decided we haven't done it since we moved out here, but we're gonna make a list after talking with Tag him and B.
We used to do it all the time. We would set up a whiteboard and it had our goals and everything that we needed to do on it. And then it got so frustrating being here, we didn't do it.
Right.
And so now we got to get back to it. But you mentioned something about that a couple days ago and then nothing happened. So
Well, we're gonna do it on a spreadsheet.
that's what you said.
And I've started working on it.
No, so you're putting your goals down.
Well, I put stuff I know that needs to be done.
My goals might be a little bit different than yours. Like a bedroom, finishing the bathroom, getting the processing kitchen done.
Yeah, mine's more along the lines of making sure
everything outside.
Making sure the vehicles work so we can get from point A to point B and stuff like that.
I just don't think that's a goal. I think that's maintenance, but
it's something that needs to be done.
Oh.
It goes on a dream board. Do you think biogas or wood burning is best? Well, for most people, wood burning, because it's simpler, a lot easier, fewer moving parts. Is it more efficient? I'm not going to say. Probably not. But if you getting a biogas digester that would make enough to run our house or heat our house up, probably cost prohibitive for us, to be honest with you. But combination, I mean, do everything you can. If you can get a good system in place, use it. Have multiple systems, because if the biogas quits working, you got a wood stove backup. If you don't have access to firewood for some reason, you've got a backup. This is why we need all these extra systems in place to make sure that we've got everything covered in case something happens.
Yeah, get as many in place this year as you possibly can. This year.
Yeah, Rabbit. That's literally sounds like an all you gotta do statement.
Mr. Answer's good about that.
Seriously. So all you got to do is get an IBC inner tube, some current tubing, and pump, and it's done. There's a little bit more, just a little tiny bit more.
Gregory, we usually go through. At the old house, it was 5 cords of wood, 5 to 7 cords of wood.
We're gonna go through 6 this year.
You didn't even cut that many.
Yeah, I did. I had 5 put up at one time, and then I kept filling it up from out in the woods.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but obviously this week we're not going through that much wood. In fact, you looked at the wood crib and you're like, I don't have to fill that up probably until this weekend.
I'm gonna fill it up tomorrow.
It's supposed to rain on Friday, so that would be a good idea.
That's why I'm gonna fill it up tomorrow. But yeah, 6 to 7 cords. When we get the back of the house done, that's probably gonna double, because we're putting a wood stove back there. My goal is to never have to run the propane furnace, to never have to do it. I want to be able to have 2 stoves burning. I want to figure out how to run a air moving fans. I want to figure out how to do that off of solar, so that we don't don't have to rely on electricity for that. I'd really like to make the heating of this place completely off grid. You know, because around here, the two things in my mind that are most important are, one, the heating in the wintertime. We can deal with it. We can deal with the summer. We can deal with the heat. You know, it's uncomfortable, but we can always go outside.
Unless it's 130 degrees.
Well, we can deal with it. We can deal with it.
We did deal with it. We made it work alive.
Yeah, yeah. And so if we have to, we can deal with it. In the wintertime, though, you got to have heat because it will kill. It will literally kill you around here in the wintertime if you don't have it. And then the other one is water, which that's definitely on the list of getting that taken care of this year too. So we have at least one source of water year round.
Did you see that? So this must be an issue because if anybody would be able to find that, it's going to be HG.
Is it? I'd be all over biogas if I could get my hands on a pump that is certified pump and compresses flammable gas so it could be stored. Yeah, because storing is the only way you can use it because you quite honestly you can't get a system big enough to fulfill your needs on demand. It's plain and simple. Small batches, yeah, you can do it. It's actually relatively easy. Rabbit's right. It is relatively easy. There's a lot more moving parts than we made it out to be. But if I was gonna tell somebody where to start, I would say wood burning to start with.
That's a great idea, Lucy. So, in fact, everybody's talking about that here to get enough stored up for 5 years. So it's very interesting that she threw that number out because that is the talk of the town right now, of the community. So,
and
very interesting.
So if you watch Being Tag, gosh, what did he say they went through this year? 30 quarter wood, but they do
Not
everything
this year.
They do everything with wood. They heat with wood. They cook with wood, and so they go through a lot of wood. And he's the one to talk to. If you ever run into Tag, ask him about being completely off grid using wood as a primary heat source. And he can give you the lowdown on how much it takes. You know.
Yeah, having a septic or a lagoon is great because you don't have that. You just don't have the sewer bill. So
I would love to be able to put a heat pump in. I just it's money's the big issue right now with putting a heat pump in.
Geothermal would go a long way here. Yeah, it would because we've got a very low a very high water table here because we're down on river bottom. So it may not be as expensive either as what you think because I don't think they'll have to drill down very much, especially with the static, where the well is and the static from that. I don't think they'd have to. So plus we have a spring that runs through. We're just not quite sure where it's located because we've been in a drought. You cannot hear the spring. Supposedly you're supposed to be able to hear the spring going through the house. You keep saying that, but we've been in a major drought. So don't call the man a liar. Give him the benefit of the doubt and wait until we get out of the major drought. And so, but supposedly there's supposed to be something running through the kitchen. And if it is there, that would be the spot to try to get into.
So Rabbit is 100% correct on this. Go to your local sawmill and around here you can buy a trailer full of the cutoffs, the live edge and all that stuff. Somebody call?
Yeah, and it's a neighbor, so I gotta get her.
Okay, she'll be right back. She's got. But yeah, you can around here you can get for $35 an entire trailer full of cutoffs. That's when you're using it, it's like almost a quart of wood. So yeah, it can't be beat. It's a great idea. If I wanted to be really reliant on wood, I want a big acreage. Yeah, for a coppice yard. Coppicing, if you don't know what that is, it's where you cut the tree off and it keeps growing, and every 5 years you harvest. We have geothermal here at my parents' house. The heat sink field runs down and through an Army Corps pond. Oh, that's nice. I bet that really works well. I can buy cutoffs and slabs for $10 a bundle. If each bundle would about 3,500 pounds, which comes out to 5 quarter wood. It's such a great price. Such a great thing. I'm glad you mentioned that, Rabbit. I'm probably going to look into that for next next year. Might be a good way to do that. Money's getting tight, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Most I have is my outhouse, and I bill on all my water, which is good exercise. Yeah, you got to admit, in the wintertime, it kind of sucks though at times. I quit using the furnace after Misty left, just turning on the fireplace for a few hours at night. Oh, it must be nice. Must be nice. But yeah, everybody needs to start looking at these off-grid ways and ways to save money. I have 5 acres of oaks and hickory, but if I don't need to be cutting down my wood for fire, I definitely would buy it from a sawmill. Absolutely. Oh, and look for people clearing farmland or clearing houses, and see if you can go salvage off them. We got a guy that cleared a field down here at the end of the road. Next time they're out there planting, I'm gonna ask him if I can cut the big wood, pile of wood and salvage some firewood from that. Because there's got to be 3 or 4 cord in there. They cleared quite a few trees out. Now, as for the sawmill, I have one. I just need to be there enough to learn how to use it. I'll be the sawmill. Yeah, Tag inherited one, and we're talking about firing it up and using it more deliberately this year, which will be nice. Who's that?
Amber.
Oh.
So it's all good. I was afraid it was an emergency because usually she knows that we're on live on Tuesday and would not call. But in a way, it was an emergency for her. So, but she's going to be, we'll have to unload the bed of the truck. She's going to go ahead and bring it over and leave it there. She's got a trailer bed full of pepperoni. So she's like, I can't store it all. I got no freezer space. 16 boxes of 8.5 pounds of pepperoni. So this is how
there's a reason. It sounds weird, but there's a reason how she ends up with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a legit reason. It's not like she's running a
heist or stealing anything.
Yeah, she's not like stealing stuff out of the back of trucks like the mob.
Yeah. So if you could hear feedback there, and she's just like counting. She's like 1, 2, 3, 16 boxes of 8.5 pounds of pepperoni each.
Our heat pump is air to air, works good until the temperature is about 25. Neighbor has a ground loop system which was put in 1989 and still works great. That's what I want. I was thinking we could put a ground loop system in the front yard. Mm-hmm. We could do that.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
A ground loop system. So what you don't know, a ground loop system is heat exchange that you put pipes down under the ground, and the air just runs through it. You force the air through it with the fan, and it cools the air down. If you run it one way, it'll heat the air up in the winter time. Use that ambient ground temperature. It's a simple system. My only concern about out front is accidentally killing that cottonwood tree by cutting the roots and stuff.
That cottonwood tree is already on its last leg.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
It's like leaning.
I have enough deadwood down. I don't have to cut trees for a long time. We're getting there. I was out doing a survey of the damage from this winter so far.
We have a lot of trees.
There's the neighbor that said we could cut deadwood off of his place. There's a lot over there now too. Yeah, below the frost line.
Yeah, well, we've got the what is that? Is that considered a ditch witch?
Yeah, that's a ditch witch.
Okay, so we've got a ditch witch sitting.
No, these are earth tubes about that big.
So the ditch witch won't do that? Are you sure? Because that's what the hacks did, and
witch,
they were pretty big.
Ditch witch will that ditch witch will only do about an 8-inch trench.
Wow. So we'd have to get a backhoe or something.
So Starless, so what geothermal does is they drill straight down, and they use a heat pump. Well, they call it a heat pump, and what it does is it pumps the cold air or the cool air out of the ground, and keeps the house at a constant temperature. It's way more efficient than an air conditioner, which is why they're so popular.
What she's asking is the loop system the loop system is like a geothermal, right?
It's the same concept, but it's built different. And It's not, the heat exchange is not quite as efficient as a heat pump. The good thing about the loop system is you can put a 12-volt fan on one end and run it off of solar very easily. Where with a heat pump and a geothermal, you need to have at least a 110 system. In fact, I think the one your dad had was a 220.
Yeah, Dad had a big one. Dad overdoes a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't want to have to do it again. So.
It pumps the liquid. There you go.
Yeah, and
That's it. That's right. But it's the heat exchange. The heat exchange with the earth is what.
Isn't it kind of what Tag put underneath his house, right? Underneath the concrete pads.
I don't remember if he
Yeah,
did
because he has the pipes coming through the wall. It opens up through the wall and it pushes that air.
that. No, does it?
Yeah. So that's why he doesn't need AC in the summertime. It keeps
He's
the
got
house
a
very cool.
ground loop system.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
You said ground loop system. And it does an excellent job. It really does. I've been in there.
Her dad had a really nice heat pump on his house, and he left. He moved, and then he was going to go back and get it because he was still getting stuff out of that. And it took 5 days before they came in and stole the heat pump off the side of the house.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're there in Missouri with a bunch of meth heads.
Yeah. Hey, here's what I want. Here's what I want everybody to start doing.
Not that Missouri is a bunch of meth heads. It was that area that we were living in, Cass County.
Here's what I want everybody to start doing. I want everybody to start spreading the news that traffic cameras are full of copper. And let all the meth heads in the area know that traffic cameras have copper in them and they're loaded with it. That will take care of a lot of the surveillance problem. I'm just saying.
They are already, so the copper thing has become such a problem already that in Topeka, there was a statue. I don't know what the statue was of, but it was copper. And they literally went in and cut, like all that's left now is some of the shoes.
The shoes.
And they stole everything else. Now, how in the world? They're probably going to smelt it down in order to sell it. But, because you can't just take a copper statue and just go here. Right? I mean, I guess unless somebody was crooked, but how would you
that
do
would
that?
shock me. That would shock me if Crooks knew somebody that was crooked enough to buy that. That would completely shock me.
You think a statue like that?
Yeah, there are people. The reason why you cannot sell guardrails or street signs without having an affidavit from the state is because the meth heads were stealing stuff off the side of the road.
And trying to recycle them, right?
There-
And get
yeah,
paid for them. That's
but
what I'm saying.
But there are people that will take that stuff, and especially copper.
Huh,
I know
interesting.
somebody that smells copper. He would probably buy one.
We know 2 people that smoke copper.
He would probably buy one.
No, he would never do that. He would stop it. He would never do that. I don't see that happening.
I'm just saying,
Oh, is what, 400? I don't know.
$4 a pound.
Oh yeah.
Copper's $4 a pound.
Yeah. And that skyrocketed from, what was it? Let me look it up, because we were when we left Kentucky in October, it was what, at 89 cents? And then it jumped up to $1.19, and then I checked again, and when I checked again, it was at what, $1.98, but I haven't checked in months. So let me look that up real quick.
Yeah, that's what my father-in-law was like that. In an area of London, there's license plate reading cameras put up.
Yeah, look at that. $3.90 here. Yep.
Yeah, HG, that's where I got the idea of telling meth heads that the cameras were full of copper. Yeah, the people in London are just ingenious. They're burning the little cubes that they put in the road to keep people from driving through, and they're putting bags over the signs, and it's just
A pound. Here it's an ounce. So we would be at $3.90 an ounce.
I see flashy red lights off of Yoda's That's the stove.
Wood?
That's the wood
What was
stove. Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
the
stove.
wood burning stove.
That's the wood. I haven't cleaned the glass, so you're seeing it's all amber. I burned a piece of wood last night that because we
Made it a little bit.
shut the dampers down at night so it doesn't burn very fast, so it smoked. And apparently there was a piece of green wood in there that I didn't know about, and it messed the window up. So now I got to go in and clean again. Maybe I ought to do a video about cleaning the dang glass.
So, and here's the thing too: we're in the county. The cops would never show up here. It would be the sheriff.
Got to check scrap prices here. Getting ready to start cleaning up my dad's old shop. My brother and I walked the property a couple of days ago. Lots of good stuff. You know, if anything, break even, salvaging stuff to pay for cleanup and stuff. Hey, Independent Mary, how you doing?
Hey. Yeah, so you've got some more copper you need to pull out from under the
Yeah,
house. Because we are transitioning in the back of the house over, well, no, the back of the house isn't ran, is it? We're transitioning over to PEX.
Yeah.
So we have Spagster, who is, Spags is smelting copper and putting it in bars. He's trying to convince me to purchase a stamp, a Grumpy Acres
So
stamp.
if you've got any copper statues, Spag's the one to talk to. Probably. I'm just saying.
He would not do that. I don't see that happening. So yeah.
What's that? Creo shot. If you got wood stoves, you know, Rabbit. I either use
Creo shot or Creo soap. Soup.
Creo shot. It's a cleaner.
Oh.
You know what? Chemically, what I've been using. She uses this Dawn Power Shot on the dishes. I've been using that on the glass, and it works really well. You know, as long as
fast.
As long as it's a little warm, as long as the glass is just a little bit warm, it comes off real good. And if I don't have that, I just get a thing of water and a piece of steel wool, and I just dip the steel wool in the ashes.
See what they're doing up in Nebraska.
I just dip it in the ashes and use the ashes.
From the center irrigation systems. This is crazy.
That's a lot of money too, man. Oh gosh.
Well, taxpayers gonna have to pay for it.
No, insurance will pay for it until they decide they don't want to cover it anymore. Oh, the Creo shot help. Oh, we those are God, what do we use?
Oh, you're talking about those little logs that you put in there?
Yeah,
we haven't done that.
Ours are the chimney sweep, I think, is the.
Yeah, but we haven't been doing that
because they haven't had to.
Well, yeah, because he brushes out the flue and
I get up there. I get up there and clean it every year.
Yeah, no sense in supporting China and anything else. So. Little hard work, little. What do they call that? Elbow grease goes a long way.
I didn't realize Creo Shot was a brand name. Let's see. We have a company that does blow-in insulation. We get all the steel barrels from them for free. We take them to scrap. It helps buy things we need. Yep. That's what I'm trying to work on, that stupid pile out back. Hey, Best Life, how you doing? Let's see here. So Creo Shot comes in a bag. You just put it in the hot fire and let it burn for 5 minutes or more. It helps a lot.
Yeah, where's it made, Rabbit? Where's it come from?
You know what else works? I'm shocked. I'm shocked at this. Somebody told me about this, and I didn't believe them, and I gave it a try. And then I looked at what the
cinnamon rolls and chili.
Throwing cinnamon rolls and chili in the wood stove will help clean up. Aluminum cans. You get your stove really hot, and you throw a couple of aluminum cans in there, and the creosote gets on the aluminum can. Then on the aluminum, it goes up. You know, it vaporizes. It goes up the thing. And then you just bang the stove and the creosote falls right out.
Yeah, Rabbit, what I'm asking, if you look on the bag, where is it made? Is Farm and Home, are they making it and creating it? Or, where's it coming from? Is it coming from China? Is what I'm asking. So.
Okay. There's a lot of water pipes, not copper. He worked the water system, but he welded. So there are a ton of old metal, aluminum, etc. Wish Darren lived closer so I can get some advice on all of this.
So what Garen does,
Take some pictures and send it to me.
yeah. So Garen would recycle that. If you wanting to use it, that's going to be a Darren deal. So Hacks will walk you through that and give you some ideas. He's pretty good.
Oh, he says it's made in the USA.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
I will. You want me to look at that? I can go up
You
to
know
tar
what?
water.
Let me look at it at the. Let me look at the stovepipe at the end of the year.
Okay. And then decide if we want to start.
Well, okay.
That.
So the I don't have to clean these pipes as much as I had to clean the ones at the other place, even though they're both 6-inch systems. This pipe is straight, and the only place I get a lot of creosote buildup is on the vent at the top. You know, if you've got a system where, like at our old house, it went up and it went through the manifold in the wall, and then it did another 90-degree turn, I'd get a lot of creosote buildup on the where it turned, and I haven't had that problem here. Of course, I'm not burning a lot of wet wood either.
Our friends have lost their mind. Everybody knows our lives are at this time on Tuesday nights,
Okay.
and they are blowing up my phone.
Who are they?
Tracy, Amber, Spags.
It's a conspiracy.
No, they're all legit questions and requests. So,
Yes, absolutely. You definitely, if take that advice right there. Keep your chimneys
clean. Keep them clean.
At the old house, I would clean it twice a year. I'd clean it one time in the middle. Like we get this warm up like right now where we weren't using the
You
stove.
would go in and clean it.
I would clean it because when I rebuilt the chimney stack, I made it so that I could take a panel off. I didn't have to do a whole bunch of work. I just take the panel off, take that little base out, and run the cleaner through it.
Well, and also because we've seen the damage a chimney fire can do.
Yeah.
We didn't have one, but the house that we had in Pleasant Hill, they had a chimney fire, and that was, I think that's why they put the pellet stove in, right? Because
Yeah.
that didn't happen from the pellet stove.
No, they did after they
Yeah, and so they never cleaned it. And the really weird part is too, wasn't there, like you said, there was an outlet up in the attic right by there. So it's pretty amazing that they did not literally burn down the whole house, because that could have been bad. But yeah, the story is that she was barefoot, didn't have time to get shoes on. Her phone didn't work. She had to run to the neighbors and use the phone to get the fire department out there. Luckily, at that point, the fire department was only
5 minutes away.
Well, it was 9 miles, I think, right? Because our insurance, we didn't have to pay higher insurance. So I think it was like less than 9 miles away, but yeah. But yeah, what you saw up in the attic, that was really weird and bizarre. So yeah, we don't want that to happen here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what else you guys want to talk about? Farming news, agricultural news, the story that concerns me.
This is terrible.
That concerns me right now is McPherson and Rice counties in Kansas, which are
just south.
2.5 miles southwest of us, or 2.5 hours southwest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 2.5 hours.
About.
Kansas ag officials are watching an outbreak of avian flu. So
closely, watching it closely.
Watching it closely, yes. So that bothers me.
Yeah.
You know, so
and I did put to the community, I did put an all call out. I said, hey, G found this article. Be aware. Here's the counties. Keep your gates locked. What they'll start doing, so they did this last year, but this is a worse report than what we saw last year. So what they'll do is they'll put this out, and then I don't know what, 3 months once everybody's got their chicks hatched and all that, and then ready to go, full blown, full force. Then what they'll do is the avian flu will start spreading, and then by June, then you'll start seeing on the news for neighbors to report other neighbors who have flocks, and then they come in and they'll cull your flock, and you can't trust that they're going to test them or whatever. A lot of times when they test these chickens, they're using the same needle off of somebody else's farm, and so you just don't let them on your property.
Yeah.
But and you can do that out here anyway. We can do that at gunpoint. They'd be trespassing. So
And some of the other
a simple
stories,
phone call to the sheriff.
some of the other stories in the news right now. There's a lot of talk about the different droughts areas. Colorado farmers are starting 2024 in a worse state than they were in 2023. Drought expansion in the Corn Belt is a thing. There's an article in here. I went to successfulfarming.com is where I was looking at this news. Nebraska, that there's a huge difference between the irrigated lands and the non-irrigated lands in how much they're producing.
Yeah, Tim, I'm not really sure about that, to be honest with you. I just know from some experience with friends that had the USDA come in. He was doing rabbits, and the chickens happened to be there. And all of a sudden, when they started testing things, they were using the same needle over and over on all of the animals. Yeah. And then the needles were not clean. You could tell that they had been used. So not really sure how they do it. They've never been on our land, so nor will they ever be.
Stay down.
But yeah, so that's kind of how that goes. But yeah, that'd be interesting. Maybe you can look that up. They've been kind of good information on that. If we don't know it, there's probably several other people that don't. So why don't you look that up and share that?
Yeah, they're talking about chimney fires. I got the double-walled chimney pipe red hot before it caught fire on the wall.
Dang.
She had. I said it at the old house. She had the collar where the pipe went in was starting to glow. She had it so hot one time.
I thought that was here.
No, that was the old house. We loaded it up with hedge.
Oh yeah, when we had
it was -10 and we had all the windows open.
Yeah.
The more droughts there are, the more call there is to take water from areas where they have good rain and water to where they don't have the. Yeah, you know, how do I say this?
What are you talking about? I'm sorry.
Our responsibility as small farmers, homesteaders, gardeners, whatever, our responsibility is to make sure that we are independently sufficient enough as best we can so that things like that don't affect us. And yes, HG's right.
Talking about the drought?
Yeah, they're taking water. I mean,
well, yeah. Look at Nevada wanted to plug into Kansas River.
Well, Arizona, the Colorado River. Used to be back in the 1800s. You could take a riverboat from El Golfo down in Mexico, which is the top end of Baja, the Gulf of Baja. You could take a riverboat all the way from there to Phoenix, Arizona. And now, when I was stationed there in the 80s, you could walk across, in the middle of the summer, you could walk across the Colorado River at places and not even get your belt wet. That's how low it was. So corn and soybean prices have been going down. Yeah, but there's
it's been nice buying feed lately because we don't feed soy, or corn. But
I was reading an article. And apparently the Brazilian soybean crop, which is the second largest in the world, is getting hit with really, really rough weather down there right now. So
then we just don't sell.
They're not. Well, and
we don't sell to China.
Yeah.
All right, it's plain and simple. It's just time we do what everybody's doing now.
You realize you're not a government expert, and they think completely different, right?
No, but why can't you just say no? So one of the reasons why we have a wheat shortage and all of that is because China bought all of that stuff up.
Well,
and then they're storing it, so now we're negative in it, in storage and that kind of thing. And you have everybody that's running down with the caravan, militias, all of that, running down to the southern border. They're standing up and saying, no, you're not coming in. And they're doing that. So why don't we stand up and just say no? Why is it so difficult?
Because okay, so here's what we're dealing with, everybody. So far in the last 2 weeks, the Biden administration has sold off our helium reserve.
We have a helium reserve?
Yes, we had a reserve of helium, and they just sold it off.
For what? What's the
manufacturing?
Oh.
Got rid of 30% of the helium in the country. that's used for manufacturing and stuff. So they got rid of that. They're shutting down an aluminum plant in Missouri that makes 30% of U.S. made aluminum in the country, and they're shutting that down. In fact, Josh Hawley just sent a letter to the administration saying, don't do this because he laid out why they didn't want it done. They are pushing Lake City Arsenal. They're pushing Lake City Arsenal to stop selling civilian 5.56, and
Period.
Stop selling it on the civilian market. People don't understand. In fact, the government doesn't even understand it, because in the reasoning that they wrote was saying that the government was subsidizing civilian ownership of 5.56, which is exactly opposite of the truth. The truth is the contractor that runs, and I think it's Remington still right now. It used to be Winchester. I think Remington's still running it now. The civilian market for the 5.56 is subsidizing the government buying 5.56. By selling it to civilians, they are able to keep the price down for the U.S. government. Part of the reason,
And they're under contract, right? So the price is fixed.
part of the reason why they want all the 5.56 is because they're gearing up for war. But the other part is because they don't want us to have it. Simple fact is they do not want us to have 5.56 ammo.
Yeah, they can't disarm us, so go ahead and stop the ammo, and then we can't get the ammo.
Right. Well, and it's an infringement on the Second Amendment, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, that's the one that's in Missouri, isn't it? It's in Missouri, Kansas City area.
No, you're talking about the one in Marks.
Okay.
Yeah, they're looking at shutting that one down. Time to start smelting aluminum and storing it.
Why? What's the purpose of that?
Because if they get rid of all the aluminum manufacturing, it's going to become more expensive. I don't. Aluminum's not really a PM yet. It's going to be a long time before aluminum becomes a PM.
Mm-hmm.
I like the thinking though. I think you're thinking in the right direction, Starlight. I like that.
Magnitude 7 metals plant.
Yeah, that's the one. That they're talking about shutting down.
Okay.
30,000 gallons of rainwater catchment storage space in August. Oh, I'm so jealous. I am so jealous, Starla.
Nice.
I've got exactly this much right now, and that's another plan. Hey, no.
Our pepperoni must be getting loaded into the truck.
You want to go monitor?
I don't need to monitor
Go say
them.
hi.
No.
Go be.
We already had this conversation. She knew that
shut
we were.
the dogs up. Go get them.
Then they're gonna chase them. Jolly Glenn.
Don't let them out.
Jolly. Stop it.
Yes, absolutely it will. Absolutely, it will affect anything that comes in a can.
Stop.
If everything goes according to, I certainly hope you do. I seriously, Starla, I'm so jealous. Hey, get down. I'm gonna throw something at you. Get down. We are having problems after this weekend. They are not listening, and they're not behaving like they're supposed to. I have 24-foot above ground pool that is capable of 12,500 nights and of filtered water just on its own. Here, bring it over here. Come on.
Stop it.
She's bringing in these cases. I don't know what we're gonna do with them all. Hence, food prices will go up again. Absolutely. Hey, if you don't settle down, I'm gonna put you in your crates. Oh goodness, this is what it's like around here all the time, guys. Seriously, this is going back and forth and getting this stuff. So what else do we have going on? Let's talk about. She mentioned she started conspiracy talk earlier, so let's talk about conspiracies. So did you hear? Gateway Pundit had an article today, as a matter of fact. that there's a whistleblower at the FBI that says the FBI knows exactly who the J6 pipe bomber was. They know it's a former government official. They got the license plate on camera, so they know the car, and they refuse to interview them. The person that left the pipe bomb by the DNC headquarters there in DC, and that's what the whistleblower is saying. So at this point, it's just a whistle. It's a he said she said thing. It shows a pattern of corruption, though. It doesn't show. It strengthens the idea of a pattern of corruption that's been going on through this entire investigation. Is that it?
For right now.
Okay.
So the issue was that because of the weather, they canceled all of the harvesters, and her aunt runs harvesters and does all of that where they're at, and so basically what happened, usually they get 4 flats, and you know how it works, and because all the cancellations, they got 14 flats of food. So obviously, because everything was canceled, they have to figure out where to store all this food. So we can get that in our freezer, and then there's even more. So I may have to go get more tomorrow. Amber's.
Are we storing it, or are we?
No, it's ours. We have to do something with it. They can't.
We need to share
once it's here, we cannot get it there.
We need to share it with the rest of the community.
No, that's what Amber's doing right now.
Oh, let's see. I have IBC. This is Rabbit. I have IBCs on my chicken coop roof right now. Planning on the main house's gutter, running IBC totes and little cabin's gutters into totes. See, that's my plan for this year. Finally, I'm finally at the point now where I can start working on these things like I wanted to 2 years ago. They're fighting each other.
No, I'm thinking about putting another log on. It's getting chilly outside.
Is it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, going back to the whole J6 thing, this is a pattern that has been proven time and time again. They are not, I don't care what Sean Hannity says or what Glenn Beck says, anybody that works for the FBI and is either, well, you're complicit.
Hey, Ghost.
You're complicit as far as I'm concerned. Boo. What's up, Ghost? We had a conversation this weekend. Somebody has to do an inventory of our shirts so we can get them made.
Somebody has to unload the trailer because I got to get everything
Quite
out.
capable too.
No, actually that I'm not, and so I don't even know why you would say that.
That's right, because the baby broke you this weekend.
Well, and then it's not that the baby broke me, but it's also the fact that I only have 5 more visits and festivals in the rest of the year. So, if you want me to be down and crippled, then I'll go unload the trailer.
For better and worse.
Huh?
For better and worse.
You won't wipe my butt.
Excuse me?
Well, are you going to cook?
Excuse me?
You were complaining. You were complaining that I didn't cook for you, which is a lie.
So, okay. What else we got going on?
Nothing much. Just now it's time to start gearing up for festivals. So we have 1 month. We have 1 month, so we'll get everything going. I've got raw milk in the freezer right now. So in one of them. So that'll be done tomorrow. So that'll be done tomorrow night. I'll get that packaged up and then done. I need labels, and so gonna have to do that. And obviously the Chuckle video went viral, so I'm gonna have to make sure that I make more. You have to stay out of them.
Get them packaged.
Right, so I need labels, and so we'll have to make sure that we have those on hand.
49 cents a pound.
What is? Leg
For
quarters.
leg quarters.
Yeah, I've noticed chicken coming down, but it's all weird stuff. It's not weird stuff, but it's all the stuff that most people would say is poor people food, but I think it's the best part of it. It's the dark meat, and so I've noticed that. Super Bowl's coming, so wings are going to be expensive, and chicken breast is going to be expensive.
Anything and everything with the roof will be collecting water. any way possible. Remember, when it's raining, hitting 1,000 square feet is
Yeah.
And go hit farm auctions and see if you can't find poly containers for inexpensive. Right now, they're last time I looked, buying them brand new, they were anywhere from $1.50 to $4 or $5 per gallon. You get them dirt cheaper at auctions. You just need to make sure that you're not buying one that somebody was storing pesticides.
Yeah, the convoy headed to Texas. We've been waiting. Everybody's been waiting for an update on that. So they have moved. They've gone out.
Who was it?
And
CNN, MSNBC, one of the major propaganda outlets described it as armed extremist militants.
Then everybody down there across the border. I think what they're mad at is the Texas set of precedents. Arizona followed. California is people in California are just mad. What I'm concerned about with California, where they're going to San Ysidro, and I grew up in that area. I know San Ysidro border, and I know the type of people that are around San Ysidro, and this concerns me. So I see that one. If I pay attention to anything, it's going to be that border because I see problems. So the border itself, the way that everything's set up, is just a gate. With the gate goes down onto the beach in the water, and then the gate goes a little bit into the ocean. But they will swim around that. Usually, there's only 2 border patrol agents that are standing there. Now, this was years ago, so it may be different now. But yeah, I see that being very, very touchy situation there. That's going to be the one to watch. Heavy cartel. Yeah, a mess. And then, not to mention, here's the other thing, guys. Not to mention, you've got the Super Bowl coming up that's in Las Vegas. So, what does that mean? So, Nevada has an open policy for prostitution. Obviously, not underage, but underage is going to be an issue, and they have to get those girls trafficked. If the convoy is this almost perfect timing, like I don't even know how God set this up, so we'll see what happens. And so with that convoy going in and they're blocking 3 major border crossings: Yuma, Eagle Pass, Yuma, and San Ysidro. And that is a lot where a lot of the human trafficking comes up. And so it's going to be very, very interesting because this convoy is going to be between the cartel and their money. So, especially with Las Vegas being as close as it is to the border. So, we got to pray for him because I don't see good things happening. We'll see what happens.
Okay, Gregory. Yes, go to the calendar on freesteading. People are listing more and more stuff there. You can also go to the calendar at Midwest Preparedness Festival because people are starting to list stuff there. There are several different outlets that you can find these things. They're both free to join. And if you've got a festival, if anybody's got a festival that they know of, go out there on freesteading and put it out there, or go on to Midwest Preparedness and put it on there so people know. If you've got classes you're giving or you know about, go and put it out there. People need to know about this stuff, and we need to start sharing this with each other.
Mm-hmm. Joseph G, I saw your message. Next time you come through here, you need to hit us up. Just email us real quick and let us know that you're coming through. We could have had coffee.
Yep.
I don't know what time you came through, but even if it was breakfast or lunch, definitely could have met up. It's a trap on the border? I don't think so. It's a trap for the illegals coming through. I think there's enough Americans fed up. I don't think it's a trap. And especially knowing now that there was a deadline that was hit on Friday, and the president's hands are so tied, like he can't do anything. And so very, very interesting. Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't think it's a trap. I think they know people are pissed.
Tamara's trying to get Skanes to relocate to Central Texas.
No, I don't know. I think if Skanes is going to come anywhere, she needs to come here. I think Tamara should get her butt up here.
Those people from the deep south don't like this cold weather up here.
Skanes was freezing already.
What's
the difference?
Okay, guys.
Next time, Joseph.
Guys, we've been at this for a little over an hour and a half. about on my limit. I need to get going and
You need to go sleep.
at some point, yeah. I need to go do some things so I can get ready to go to bed. Hope you guys enjoyed the live. We enjoy you guys being here. It's like having family over for coffee. Well, whatever you're drinking.
The difference here, Starla, so she's saying it's going to be another J6 trap for Trump. Is she talking about what's going on the border right now? Yeah, so if you're talking about that, no, I don't even feel it in my gut, and I'm pretty good on this. No, this is different, way different. You have to remember J6 was set up by the Democrats. This is people, this is American citizens and conservatives everywhere that are saying enough is enough, and they're stepping up and they're going. J6 was actually orchestrated by the Democrat Party. That was Nancy Pelosi in there and all of them. So no, this is totally different. And I know, and somebody can call me out on it all you want. I know G was working for DOD, and the National Guard that they called in there, which was National Guard, they took all of their ammunition. They had empty guns. So this was all planned. And the border, what's happening here, it might have been a plan by Biden to bring them in so he made more money and all of that. I don't even know if you really want to get me started on this.
Please don't.
But, well, what I'm saying, this is not a trap. This is the chance for American people everywhere to stand up and say enough is enough. We're taking our country back. And so take it as it is, but now's the time to start, raise your guns and say no. We got people coming in all over from Iran and Syria and Egypt and all of that. There's more, I would say there's more terrorists coming through than there are really people seeking sanctuary, so I say no. This is a way that they figured out to get these terrorists in the country. And so we've got to stop it and nip it in the bud, because we have enough terrorist cells here that we're going to have to take care of. And God forbid, and I hope not, but probably in the next year, we've got a huge attack coming. And I really hope that everybody is prepared for that. So when I tell you my garden's going to be going, we're going to be putting more food up and all of that, we're serious. So Les Festival's getting all that done. It is time to start paying attention. And if you haven't woken up, which I know everybody on here has, or you wouldn't be here, but if you haven't woken up, now's the time to wake the F up. Wake up and get your houses in order. You gotta do it. So anyway, that's enough of my soapbox.
HG, if only we could. Those things are demilled like nobody's business. Oh man, that would be awesome to have a working tank. Okay, squirrel moment, off topic. Well, slightly off topic, high and to the right, if you will. I was listening to a story about Eddie Van Halen was jamming with the guys from Lincoln Park, and they were doing drugs and stuff, and Eddie didn't like that, because he was clean and sober. So he left, and he left all his equipment there, and they wouldn't give it back. And they, the guy from Lincoln Park just would never. He ghosted him. So the story goes that Eddie Van Halen got a working tank and drove it to Fred Durst's house. I think Fred Durst is Lincoln Park. Anyway, drove it to his house and demanded his stuff back, or he was going to run his house over with the tank. And I was like, yes, the Eddie Van Halen, yes. Sorry, you just made me think of that, HG.
Well, Rabbit, you go with your gut. So that's what I always say, but women's intuition is good. So I try not to let a lot of things feed me, and I just pay attention to what's going on. But I don't know.
Okay, guys. Seriously, we need to call it quits tonight. Glad you guys made it. Skeins, figure out where you're moving. You're gonna make a bunch of people happy wherever you go. You make people happy. Everybody, just keep your head on a swivel and understand that times they are interesting. I could really do without a lot of interesting right now, but unfortunately we don't get a say in it. And the only thing that we can control is how we react to it all. That's the only thing that we can truly control. So think about how you're going to react to it. And it's a hard lesson to learn. It took me a long time to figure that one out. But most of all, I want you guys to go out there and what do they need to do?
Be at least 1% better tomorrow than you were today. And until next time, go live a life debt free.
All right, guys, take care. See you next